Hey kiddos, today we're going to be talking about solving equations. Again, this may be one of those type of PowerPoints where you may need to stop and pause, reflect, rewind, all that good stuff, okay? So feel free to do so. Let's dive in. So let's get started with some important vocabulary. These are the most common used vocabulary we're going to be using in this section. We have an algebraic expression, which is a math phrase that contains operations, numbers, and at least one variable. A equation is a math sentence that shows two expressions are equal and it always has an equal sign. That is very important. A coefficient is the number that is multiplied by the variable in the algebraic expression. A constant is a value that doesn't change, the amount added or subtracted in the equation inequality. And inequality is a math sentence that shows the relationship between quantities, expressions that are not equal, and that one does not have an equal sign. It has the greater than or less than sign, or equal, greater than or equal to, less than sign. And a variable is a letter or symbol that stands for a number. So usually you'll typically see it as an X, but it can be shown different ways, okay? So don't get tripped up if it's a different letter, all right? So here are the steps we're going to use to solve equations with variables on both sides. First, we're going to distribute when necessary. You will not always have to distribute. Actually, the first few times you will not probably distribute, but when necessary, you need to distribute. Combine like terms if possible. So if you see two variables on one side of the equal sign, combine those. Go ahead and add them together, subtract them, do whatever it is that it's supposed to be done, okay? Add or subtract to get the variables on one side of the equation. So you're always going to do the opposite, okay? So it says move all variables to the left side of the equation until you get the hang of solving equations with variables on both sides. Add or subtract to get the constants on one side of the equation. And then move all constants to the right side of the equation until, we get the hang of things. And then we're going to either multiply or divide to solve for the variable. So let's see. Let's go over these reminders and we'll see what that looks like, okay? So, some key reminders. When solving equations, remember to always do the opposite, and whatever you do to one side, do to the other, okay? So please remember we're doing the opposite, and whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other, okay? The goal of solving the equation is to get the variable on one side. So you're going to have the variable on one side equal to a number, all right? So let's see. So, just labeling the equation, this 5 is going to be my coefficient. This x is my variable. This 6 is my constant. The -4 is my constant. The -7 is my coefficient. And the x is my variable. I'll post this PowerPoint in Schoology so you guys can see it, okay? This is it in action. So the equation is 8y. Remember that y does not have to always be x. It can be whatever letter, okay? 8y minus 9 equals -3y plus 2. The first thing I'm going to do is move my variables to the left side. So like I said, we do the opposite. So since this is a -3, I'm going to do a +3 because I want to get rid of this. And the only way I can get rid of this is making this turn into a 0. So -3 plus 3 equals what? 0, right? Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm going to add it with the same variable. I will not add it with the 9 because this has a y and this does not. So 8 plus 3, you get 11. I'm going to bring down my equation. 11y minus 9 equals 2. Now I'm going to move my constant over. So plus 9 on both sides. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. And remember, I did plus 9 because it's the opposite of minus. And I'm trying to get to 0. So now I have 11y equals 11, and now I'm going to divide. Why am I dividing? Because I'm doing the opposite, right? So if I have this 11 next to this y, we know that that's multiplying, right? So I'm going to do the opposite and divide it, and y equals 1. See how much time we have? All right, we're almost out of time. So looking over here, the same thing, all right? We have 3 minus 4x equals 18 plus x. We're going to just move it over. Plus 4 plus 4, and then bring it down. 3 equals 18 plus 5x. Remember, because this is x is just a 1. Then we're going to move over our 18. Minus 18, we're doing the opposite. And same thing, and you're just going to divide it out, okay?